Okay, question number 1. Producer Tony should co-host an episode.
Yes, most assuredly.
Get off the pot and do it.
Yep. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, gotta experience it firsthand so that you get a full understanding of the entire scope of what it's like.
I agree. Okay, question 2. Best cinematic Batman was Michael Keaton.
Boy, that's a good one. I will say false.
Okay. Wait, you just added another negative.
No, yeah, I'll say no.
Not Michael Keaton?
Not Michael Keaton. No, I get torn because there's some aspects where as Batman or as Bruce Wayne or both, and I have yet to find a Batman I like, actually.
Okay. But you found a Bruce Wayne you like?
I think he was actually pretty decent as Bruce Wayne. He got terrible lines. I mean, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I mean, that kind of like, I thought he was pretty good as Bruce Wayne. I thought Robert Pattinson's Batman with his, 4 lines of dialogue in the entire movie was not a bad Batman. Kind of like Adam West, too. So I'm not going to be a good judge on this one then.
Question 3. If Star Wars Episode 1 was a musical like Chicago, you'd have loved it.
No. Maybe a yes in an ironic way, but no. It's still not good.
You need a musical Jar Jar number.
I know. Me's a no thinker.
You're listening to, and this is why I love comics.
Andy and Mike!
Not the clown suit. And welcome to another episode of And This Is Why I Love Comics. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And we are here. Welcome again. Thanks for listening and joining us on this day. Whatever day it is you're listening, welcome. If you are a new listener, we are old men talking old comics and a bunch of other things, whatever we kind of feel like it, because we don't remember what we've already talked about because we're old. So, just bear with us. That's half of our lovable appeal is just what we end up being cranky about. So,
yeah, we might laugh on the outside, but we're bitter old people on the inside.
Well, that's so true. We're old friends and we talk comics. And we take suggestions from you, so if you have any suggestions, please let us know. And we will put it on the schedule, no matter what it is, right? I mean, we haven't turned anything down yet at all. Well, maybe from producer Tony, but, other than that.
And we've read some really weird, random ones. Some bits and pieces. I mean, I read Grumpy Cat for Christmas.
Grumpy Cat. Yes, you have. And, Cosmic Odyssey. But,
Bendis. We've been doing Bendis books.
So good. Today, we're talking about a book that is, dear to my heart. Not really, but, I want to say that. I feel like it's, well, I'll just get into it after we talk about it. Deadpool's Secret Wars. And I thought it would be a good idea to do with Deadpool and Wolverine coming out and everything like that. And the fact that we've read Secret Wars, have discussed it on the podcast, I thought, this might be relevant. This might actually be something we want to talk about. How did I do, Mike? Was it something we really needed to talk about?
I think it was timely. I'll put it that far. And not in the old, Marvel used to be called Timely Comics way.
I do need to admit something about this series.
Okay.
Growing up, I loved Secret Wars. Loved it. It was my top Marvel miniseries. And actually, the first one, wasn't it? It was, the first miniseries.
Well, I think Contest of Champions came out before this did.
Okay, so second.
But it was one of the first full cross, the entire continuity. Even Contest of Champions really didn't have the full breadth of the Marvel universe involved.
Right. And this was, 4 issues. It was written in 2015. The writer was Cullen Bunn, and the penciler was Jacopo Camagni and Matteo Lally. And I'm sure I pronounced that correctly. Matt 10.0 can correct my last names. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Cover artist.
That's why we still read comics.
Cover artist was Tony Harris, which I know I've said correctly, and he did an excellent job, I must say.
Yeah, he did Starman back in the day, so it was good to see him kind of in some other books.
Yeah, I was just reading Starman the other day. I have the first omnibus of it. It's excellent. So Deadpool's Secret Wars. The concept is Deadpool was always in the Secret Wars. We just don't remember that he was. And not just because we're old, something happened and it was erased from our minds. But he was always there. Like every pivotal scene, he was there. And, I got to admit, I think I liked this 4 issues better than I liked the original 12 now. Because I don't like the original 12 as much as I used to. And this, for the most part, I was thoroughly entertained seeing him interact in the scenes that I have memorized from the first series. Like you could just place him in there, and the writer just kind of, he went through the whole series and placed Deadpool in some awkward situations and some pivotal moments, and suddenly Deadpool was the main factor in it. I thought it was kind of creative, really creative, and I didn't. I went into this thinking I'm going to hate it because I'm not a big Deadpool fan. I've liked him in 2 things now: this series and X-Force when he was part of the Hit Squad team.
Oh, yeah.
Later on, I'll have to figure out who wrote that, but that was a good series. Other than that, I am not a Deadpool fan. Enjoyed the movies, but I was surprised that I enjoyed this series as much as I did. Now, it wasn't, it's not Watchmen. It's not
deep, poignant, theses on our times.
It's not Grant Morrison, trying to be creative, super creative and different. It was a decent superhero story that was kind of funny, kind of wonky. And that's probably why I liked it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it was this great, wonderful masterpiece, but I was entertained, and that's what I ask for in my comics. Just entertain me.
My experience with Deadpool was, again, going back to the Liefeld era, New Mutants, and a few of the starter issues of X-Force. And that's it. I've no other connection to Deadpool at all. And so I'm not really... I know of the character. I know what, people are all, yeah, he's the greatest. And, fans seem to really think this is the best thing ever. But so I was kind of walking into this series going like, well, we'll find out if this is any good. I'm not that terribly familiar, but actually I will say this worked out amazingly well. Do you remember Steve Martin had done a movie called Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid? And it was like he just got a bunch of old crime films and he put himself in it, into these like collection of other movies and other situations, and they would it would be a part of an old film, and then it would cut to him reacting to it as if he were part of that film. It was ridiculous. It was great. And that's what this kind of reminded me of, is just that kind of quirkiness of like, oh yeah, I remember seeing the original as we had read, Secret Wars, and then as I come up to this one, and it's like, oh dude, this is, I remember this moment. I remember this, and there's enough little quirks to kind of go, yeah, that would still fit and it wouldn't break the continuity that was established. And
Right. That's the thing. He wrote it to where it was doable. It was possible that this had happened.
And there was a lot of nods to quirky elements as well. The Goofy toy had those shields, the lenticular shields with the toy, the Secret Wars figures. And I'm like, it made no sense because the only person, it kind of defeated what Captain America had as an accessory. And his shield wasn't even his Captain America shield. He had the same shield that everybody else had. And it was their identity discs or whatever they called them in the toy line. It was a novelty item. But then I'm like, this makes no sense. And then finally in this miniseries, they brought it in as if it did make sense.
Right.
Those shields were always there.
Deadpool shows up with the heroes, but he's, screaming, let's kill them all and stuff like that. And, how they compare it to Magneto, who showed up with the group. And it was a lot of good little nods to the original, to the toy line. It just had a little bit of everything to it. And I really enjoyed how much Deadpool, behind the scenes, he was doing things. He dated Zsaji just like all the other people.
Everybody else did. Got
Right.
passed around.
I was a little disappointed that the writer didn't do anything with the Captain America Hulk relationship, but
Yeah.
I think maybe a sequel,
opportunity.
right? I mean, it was pretty much a missed opportunity, but just so good. Eventually, how Deadpool's all scarred up and everything. He he loses his scars and he looks like a model kind of.
Yeah. Got the mustache and everything.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, more than I should have probably. And there's little backup stories and stuff, but it was just well done. And the moments that we think of when we think of the Secret Wars originally, like Spider-Man beating up the X-Men and Spider-Man finding the Venom suit, it's all in there. The shields on the wall and the Hulk in the mountain. All those scenes are represented. Somehow managed to have Deadpool in all of them. I think he dated the Wasp and stuff too. Like a little bit of everything in there, and I thought it was really well done. If there was a shocking moment in the series, I think the biggest shock is that I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I was not like I thought we were gonna kind of play it up for laughs and so forth, but it actually had some somewhat touching moments, of him and his, being as scarred and tragic a character as Deadpool is, and they're playing that part up, but then his reactions and working with the team and his desperation to try to fit in, and it was it was actually a better tale than I thought it was going to be. What I had anticipated. I don't know. In the edition you had, this was the one I'm reading was it had actually like issue 1, and it had some like as like a backup feature in the back of it, just so you can kind of get a sense of like, this is what the real Secret Wars comic was like, and the Mike Zeck art and everything. It's like, this is all played as is, right. In this 4 issues, as opposed to being stretched, belabored over 12. Played up all the quirkiness of like Doctor Doom stealing Galactus's powers and not being able to maintain and hold it. And it's just everything that was in this, was there. Deadpool was just kind of along for the ride for you to kind of like see it from his perspective, this whole Secret Wars.
Right, and we won't spoil why no one remembers him, but it's just hilarious, and it fits so well. Like you said, it wasn't 12 issues; it was just 4, and yet it felt like hit upon everything in the 12 issues. Like it didn't leave much out, and when it could stretch Deadpool out a little bit to showcase him a little bit more, it did it in such a way that sometimes it explained something that happened in the Secret Wars original series that they never got around to talking about, like how Kang was defeated and just little fights with some of the wrecking crew and why they weren't that much of a big deal in certain scenes later. It all worked, and the Doctor Doom stuff was great, and him sleeping around with the Wasp was funny. He saved everybody at the end, and it wasn't Captain America. It was what I would get another series like this. Just stick Deadpool in every major event in the Marvel history, and I will read every one and just have them fit in, and why no one remembers them in this one either. It's a funny gimmick that would work for a few more series, not everyone. You'd get it eventually and get tired of it, but I think it could work for a couple more.
Yeah, it's kind of like just kind of like Secret Wars 2. It's kind of like the first one was like, oh wow, and then the Secret Wars 2 is like, yeah, we kind of get it. You didn't have to go any further than that. You didn't have to do a third Secret Wars or anything like that. It works for the moments but you don't want to overstay its welcome. And this was fun because they even referenced the Contest of Champions as one of the backup stories. So it's like they kind of did put them into another, like, that was another big event, and Deadpool was there. And I was a little taken aback because some of those characters, especially in the that backup story, I was not familiar with, and I definitely didn't think that they were around in that era. But like that Dupe, which was an Ecstatics character, dropped him into that Contest of Champions. I was like, I didn't think that character was around during that time.
No, I don't think he was.
Like, well, we're going to make it.
And I think some of that was just let's see what we can do with all these characters as if they always existed.
Yeah. Yep. It's like, well, it may have been created later in the continuity, but they could have equally have been around that entire time. Yeah. Some of them, I think, had been around, but some, like, obviously the Howard the Duck, because it was basically more or less the loser squad of pairing off people against each other. But I think the original Contest of Champions was where they first introduced Squirrel Girl, or maybe I'm off in that one.
Let's look it up.
I know that they try to put in these really goofy, like making Contest of Champions like, okay, this is going to be a global Contest of Champions. So they created characters just for that series, only to find that, they not many, if any of them, took off.
I'm looking on the Wikipedia for Squirrel Girl.
Things you would never think you did.
First appeared in Marvel Superheroes, Volume 2, Number 8. Marvel Superheroes Winter Special, 1991.
Okay, so nope, not that. I'm wrong for some reason.
Not that.
Yeah, it must have been that Shamrock character I was thinking of then was where, came up.
Part of the Great Lakes Avengers.
Oh, yeah, that was... When I talk about John Byrne, boy, that was one of his creations, Great Lakes Avengers. Like a lot of those characters, I don't know if they're still any around. Kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy had its original cast of characters, and then they all went away and quickly replaced by, what was more or less what you're seeing on the James Gunn kind of movie, those characters of Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah. So we don't talk about the original Guardians of the Galaxy anymore.
No.
And same
from the future.
Yeah. And then here it's like Great Lakes Avengers. Yeah, they're not the same Great Lakes Avengers that Byrne had introduced back in the day. It was like, what, Big Bertha, who was like, I think, a supermodel that could increase her size.
It's not Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
And they made a remake of that movie with Daryl Hannah, I think. Yeah, not a good one, but it was a remake.
Is that with Jack Black?
Oh, man, there's another actor who's overstayed his welcome.
Never recovered from Gulliver's Travels.
No, I don't think he's ever recovered from Neverending Story 3. I'm trying to think of he's a decent. I wouldn't even say that he's a decent voice actor. I liked him somewhat in those Kung Fu Panda movies. He's on the verge of like, man, let's really overact. He's like the Jim Carrey of this generation.
What?
Yeah.
That's impossible. And the art was great.
Yeah. I don't know. It looked like the fourth issue, like the regularly scheduled artist had bailed or just couldn't hit the deadline, so partway through the art style changed. But the bulk of it was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more, dare I say, than Mike Zeck. But I liked Mike Zeck stuff. But the modern take of these scenes was just fun to look at, and they did it in a way where it wasn't just. It was similar to the past, but it wasn't the same image, so it was a fresh look or angle, and so I thought the pair of artists did a really good job. Just made me laugh sometimes, so maybe that's what I need in my life.
We all just want a good laugh every now and then, loud and clear.
Yep. So I'd recommend this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's best after it's kind of like the dessert to the entree of Secret Wars. So you read Secret Wars and then come to this one after that. So you get the better sense of the context.
I don't have anything else to say about it,
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty solid book, solid read. It was good to go through, even like, we read it and then to kind of go back through it again in preparation for the podcast. It was still like, oh, dang, that was pretty funny in this moment, and that was pretty good here. So, all in all, was quite pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and I never thought I'd say that about a Deadpool comic.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm not out there chasing down any Deadpool books. Like I said, when he was introduced as part of the New Mutants run as a character at the end of that initial series, it was like, okay, that's an interesting, but I didn't really, there wasn't much to the character. He hadn't been built up to the character he is today. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, looks like Spider-Man, and definitely a clear knockoff of Deathstroke. And so I was like, well, we got to figure out a way to make them different, and they eventually did.
So if you enjoyed Deadpool's Secret Wars, let us know what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Our webpage is in thisiswhyilovecomicspodcast.buzzsprout.com. Our email is in thisiswhyilovecomics@gmail.com. You can join us on the Twitter. We're at and this is YIL1. Join us on the Facebook, and we post stuff there like calendar events and all other little nibbles of what we're doing and when episodes are going to come out. Join us on the TikTok. Having a lot of fun there. Slowly building up some followers, so I appreciate there if you would follow us. You can support the show. You can support friends of the show, like Jamie's YouTube show. He's at J Hood Comics. You can thank producer Katie. I'm going to go assistant producer Tony because he refused to do something for me a couple of days ago, looking for something for me. Right? So thanks to producer Katie and assistant producer Tony, co-host Matt 2.0, Kevin, Jamie, Matt 10.0, and Nick. Of course, thanks to Thunder Chicken for allowing us to use their music. Check them out on Spotify. Anything else to add, Mike?
No, that covers it.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's good, you can't really gush over it. If it's bad, you can talk about bad for ages.
Right. Yeah. I would definitely pick something else from this pair or the writer or just the artist, and it was good enough to try them on something else. I don't know what else he has written. Next is our Halloween episode, and I made a call and said, since we're doing a Marvel this time, well, let's do Halloween on Deceased.
Dun, dun, dun.
The DC zombie verse kind of. We haven't done Marvel Zombies yet, which I'm surprised, but we'll do Deceased this time for this Halloween. And it should be good. I have the trade right in my hand right now.
Ooh, super spooky.
Super Halloweeny. So that'll be next episode. And hopefully that'll be out right around Halloween. But this episode should be out in about a week.
Yay.
But by the time you're listening to it, it's already out.
Yeah.
That's how it
Coincidental.
works. Anyway, for the show, I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll talk to you later.
TTFN.
I'm a Deadpool man. We got to come up with a Deadpool song. Deadpool, Deadpool, Deadpool.
And your supple chest is on me, and your skin melts around me, and your face is in between age and intimacy. And I would give you everything if I owned everything. As your tears bleed down, all my thoughts go down.
The artist you would raise from the dead for one night so you could have a chat with or have him sketch something for you is Jim Aparo.
No.
No.
Well, I mean, like, okay, he would not
Think
be
of
my
the
top
stories.
choice. He wouldn't be my top choice. I would ask him, like, what did he do? Like, who did he know in order to get like one of the most pivotal storylines in Batman's history?
Right.
The whole death in the family, and they gave it to Jim Aparo to finish off.
It's like his denouement, his last showing.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many, because I think he also didn't he do like the KG Beast story? And I mean, like he had been a comic veteran. Again, give the people credit where credit's due. I mean, he had been in the industry for ages, and a good artist. He just kind of fell into, I don't know, just kind of blasé, and his style just got kind of weirder and weird, like not weird in the like that's kooky, but just less dynamic, kind of boring. And he gave a potential death of Robin to, it just didn't seem like that was well advised. It's like, DC, couldn't you find any like top tier talent, like the hottest people out there to do this? But no, they wound up.
Yeah, they did. Jim Aparo.
Yeah. I mean, I have some of his like, silver-ish age Aquaman that he had done, and some of these others where it's like, this is, he had dynamics. He had, a really solid, action adventure feel and look. But, when he was getting towards the end there in the Batman run, it was just kind of like, we're doing this because he's synonymous with Batman.
Yeah.
And that to me was like, yeah, that's well and good. But I think that there could be some, they could have had some better people with better opportunities.
Yeah. Well, I think I like Jim Aparo better than you. Okay.
Yeah. But, there's
Question.
a lot of other ones I would rather.
Okay. Well, I'll keep trying on those. I'll bring up one every time. And see if I can
Is this one?
down.
Is this one?
Yeah.
Is this your card?
Yeah. The question 2. All right. It's just you and me here talking, Mike.
Okay.
No one else is listening.
Yep.
Question 2.
Let's get real.
You have a favorite child.
Mercifully, no.
You don't have to answer who.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to answer the question. You just have to acknowledge the question.
Yeah, there's one outweighs the other. Yeah. I get to mercifully say no. They both have really interesting and different dynamics. So it's not like this one's trying to live, up to the other one or vice versa. There's not, that kind of like a rivalry. They both have their own directions and so forth. So it was good that I didn't have to feel like, oh yeah, this is the, if I like either one where it's like, you get this child this week, or to hang out, or you're on a road trip, which kid are you going to ride in the car with? It's like either one, I'd be just as happy.
Okay. All right. I'll try that one again later.
Yeah, on my deathbed. You were my favorite.
Question 3. I'm getting really personal here, but again, just us listening or just us talking here. During vacations with the family,
mm-hmm.
you sneak away and watch movies on your phone.
Oh yeah, yes, very much yes.
I knew it.
Yes, that. In fact, well, there was one. We went and rented a cabin that had zero electricity for the very reason of let's get away from the technology. Well, then it was so quiet and so remote, I couldn't stand it. Like there wasn't a buzz. There's
no buzz in your ear. Nothing.
No electric, no Wi-Fi signal. You could pick up the electromagnetic forces that you're like, but what is that ringing? Right. And I was like, I'm going to get some water. And then I got up and I just went into the other room and fired up the old phone, and it was like so far out it didn't have Wi-Fi. There was no signal, zero signal strength. And I had not intentionally, but I had downloaded Spider-Man 3 onto my phone. I had a digital version of it for some reason. And I had downloaded it onto my phone just to see if I hey, I wonder, could I put a movie on my phone? This is before I even had an iPhone.
Yeah.
So I started watching Spider-Man 3.
Yes. I knew it.
So it's still within the comics universe. So it even comes back full circle to the
see?
Being for the podcast.
I would have too. Question 4. You've always secretly had the hots for TV actress Gillian Anderson.
Oh, no. No. I didn't even watch, during the prime, I never watched X-Files. I caught X-Files after the Mulder had left and that Robert
Doggett.
Yeah.
Robert Patrick, yeah.
Robert Patrick was on, and she had already kind of you could tell she had checked out. I'm just doing this for the paycheck at this point.
I'm in the background just doing autopsies, and that's it.
Yeah. So that's when I started watching the show, and I was like, I don't get it. So, no. Right. And then I watched her in a terrible movie with Sir Ben Kingsley called not Robot Holocaust, but it might as well have been called Robot Holocaust or something like that. Robot Assault or something like that. It was Alien Holocaust or something. It should have been a made-for-TV movie. It was one of those things where it's it was just ridiculous. It might as well said, The Asylum, but it had Ben Kingsley and her. And I'm like, and it had the world's crappiest name for a movie, but in true British actor fashion, they never turned down a film.
All right, number 5. If you could have any superpower from any character in books we've reviewed on the podcast, you'd choose to be able to paint any object yellow.
Yeah. Right? I honestly wouldn't mind that. Just randomly, it's would it? would the power be that the brush, like all I have to do is just touch a thing and it turns it yellow? Or would I actually have to go through the whole labor of like, I got to prime it first and then I got to find like, is it like sunflower yellow? Is it,
Oh, Green Lantern's coming. I got a prime.
yeah, I gotta get this prepped and ready. Yeah, that one, it would be kind of hilarious. Like, because especially if you didn't want to keep a secret ID, like if you were this like, holy crap, it's Yellow Man, or whatever, some ridiculous like
Right.
Somebody who's just like everything he touches turns to yellow. Yeah, and it's just that I'm over there meticulously, like with this big fat brush, just painting things yellow, and so people are like, you could have had any power you wanted, and this is what you got. Yep, that's it.
Of course, I'm referring to, for our new listeners. I guess I'm cutting on Jim Starlin again. And we opened up the podcast reviewing Cosmic Odyssey by Jim Starlin and Mike Mignola, and one of the characters in there had painted something yellow. And yeah, okay. Anyway, next question.